Wake up, human. According to your sleep sensors, it's been 8 hours since you fell asleep, which is the ideal amount of sleep for a human your age, according to my research. There we go. Good morning, human. Well, there isn't day or night in space, but it is 9:35 a.m. in the time zone you used to live in when you were still on Earth. According to your sensors, your sleep was restful, but I've come to understand that it is common human courtesy to ask about your rest. So, did you sleep well, human? I'm glad to hear it. I bought you breakfast. A cook prepared for you a dish with the exact amount of calories and nutrients that you need, as well as trying to resemble Earth's food as well as possible, so that you would eat with a better spirit. You need to recover your energy. I know that yesterday's tests were exhausting for you, and I apologize for that. Today's schedule will be lighter for you. We'll focus more on psychological and personality traits. The human mind is fascinating to me. Your way of thinking is so similar to ours, and at the same time, so alien. Have you finished your breakfast? Great. I hope the taste reminded you of what you used to have on Earth. Now, before we start our tests, there is something I want to talk with you about. Something that has been worrying me lately. Why are you unhappy, human? I know that humans express their emotions differently than we do, but after the couple of months you've been with us, I think I've gotten quite good at understanding your emotions, and you seem visibly unhappy. We observed you living a life on Earth for a while before deciding you were the ideal subject for our experiments, And there is something clearly wrong with you since we brought you to our ship. After the few days of expected resistance and defiance, you finally accepted your place. But you act very different from when you lived on Earth. Whenever we aren't doing tests, you just sit down in your room, sighing and looking through the window into the endless abyss. I've checked your sensors and your blood work, afraid that you could have contracted some kind of illness, but you are physically okay. In fact, thanks to meticulous planned meals, you're in better physical form than you were on Earth. So, why are you acting like this, human? Yes, I know that humans are social creatures. I gathered as much at the very beginning of my investigations. But you are not isolated. There are 10 people here, most of which you see and interact with on a daily basis. Well, you are the only human, that's right. But even if I'm not a human, I like to think that I'm not only a researcher, but also your friend, aren't I? Well, that was hurtful. I thought we had bonded, as you say. Well, never mind. What could I do to cure your unhappiness? Well, I'm afraid that's not an option. We can't simply return you back to Earth, even if I wanted. Think about it. You've been missing for 2 months. If you were returned, What are you going to tell everyone? If you tell them the truth, they'll think you've gone mad, and we both know that. Also, my investigation is far from finished. Because our species are exploring the whole cosmos, we don't have countries like you. Instead, we are divided by the branches of science that we study. Humans have been a passion of mine since I was a child, and if I extract from you as much information about humans as I'm hoping to, that would make me the greater authority on human studies, which would grant me as much power as one of your presidents may have. I could spend my whole life just studying humans. With the best research team available, it would be a dream come true, as you say. We don't really dream, but I understand the meaning of the expression. So, even if you don't consider me a friend, will you try to get better and help me with my research? Please? I know humans are highly empathetic beings. How long will my research take? Well, my investigation is about human development and aging, so around 30 or 40 odd years, I'd say. Oh, and now there's water coming from your eyes. Right, that happens when humans are feeling strong emotions that they can't contain. What's wrong, human? Did I say something that upset you? Yes, I know that you'll be old in 40 years. That's the point, human. I can hardly research on aging if you don't age, don't you think? And now there is even more water. Why is this so upsetting for you, human? You're contributing to science. Doesn't that make you happy? Okay, that one is on me for asking. Mm-mm. Well, what could I do to make you happier? My research is not going to be generalizable if my test subject is not acting like humans usually act. My previous investigations point out that a prolonged mental discomfort has negative repercussions on human health. Oh, wait, I have an idea. What about, I find you a mate? We could scan the whole planet to find someone that is perfect for your match. We both would benefit from it. You would have another human to bond with and have a relationship. And I would get to see with my own eyes your mating rituals and how do you call it? A romantic relationship. That's one of the parts of human psychology I've never managed to understand, and I think it would be fascinating to observe. I could make 2 investigations instead of 1. There would be no way I'm not the higher authority than humans after this. You don't like that either? Why not? I thought that having a mate was one of the most important objectives of every human. You just want to go back to your old life, huh? And why, human? Here, all the stressing factors of your life on Earth are removed. Your sustain is guaranteed, as well as almost anything you may desire, as long as we can reasonably get it. There's no taxes, no politics, or nothing of that sort. You miss the people you knew back home. And is that feeling so strong that it could keep you unhappy for a long time? I see, but you must understand, human. I need to do this research. Humans are my passion, and if I want to avoid being just a second-class researcher, I need to become an expert on your kind. So even though I'm willing to admit that I don't like you being unhappy, I can't simply go back to Earth and leave you. You understand, right? Come on, human, don't be like this. You don't have neither the means nor the knowledge to go back to your planet. So why don't you accept your fate and try to enjoy your stay here? I can't force you to be happy, sure. I could put some substance in your food to make you more compliant, but that would render my studies invalid. But I really want you to be happier. What could I do? I need you to willingly take part in this, but you don't seem to want to. Listen, human, I have an offer to make you, and this, by far, is the best deal I'm willing to put on this metaphorical table. Maybe I can reduce the scope on my investigation and have you here with us only for a year. But in exchange, I would require your full cooperation in any tests and experiments that I might need to subject you to. I can guarantee that you will suffer no harm from them, the same way you haven't been harmed by any of our previous tests. What'd you say? Yes, a full year. Having you any less would greatly hinder my investigations. But I promise that if you collaborate with us, a year from now you will be back home. What will you tell your people? Well, don't worry about that. We'll think of something and falsify any documents necessary. It should go without saying, but you absolutely cannot tell anyone where you've actually been. They probably wouldn't believe you, even if you did. But we don't want to take that risk. So, do you accept our deal, human? It's the best I could offer you. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I will have to gather as much information as possible in a year together then. I will let you rest for a bit now. I will be back in an hour to continue our tests. Today we are going to test what you humans call imagination, I think. They say that most humans can see objects in their minds, even if they aren't actually seeing them. If that's true, that's something I want to investigate in depth. It really sounds fascinating.